Google Forms. We use them for all kinds of stuff on our eighth grade team. We're going to focus on how to use Google Forms as a quiz to integrate into Classroom. Again, I mentioned in the Google Classroom video that it is totally possible for you to assign a quiz from Google Classroom. I just choose not to do that because I like to have control. And that's mainly for my organization. If you create a document in Google Classroom, it's not going to be saved exactly where you want it to. And that drives me crazy. So I choose to always make my resources, whether or not it's in forms, slides, docs, I make those resources first so I can tell it where to go and I can access that for other units or other semesters. So here we're at Google Forms. At this point, you have a couple different options. You can either click on blank and just make a blank or bring up a blank form. Now, mine has blank quiz right here, but I don't know if that's because I've just been playing around with the quizzes. So yours could have that. If it doesn't, you could go up here and search for it. But it's really very easy to make a regular form into a quiz. If you chose blank quiz, it's just gonna go ahead and come up like this for you. And you can add a question right here, and it will already have just the form all ready for you as a quiz. Now, if you chose an untitled form, it's just gonna look like this at first, okay? And what you'll have to do to make it a quiz is come over to your settings and then quizzes. And this is where you can go into personalizing it as you would like. So make it a quiz. You typically are going to want locked mode on. In Google Classroom, I said that that was available there. Well, this is where you get it if you just make your quiz first. Um, do you want to release the grade right after your student takes the quiz, or would you like to be able to look at it first? The big thing with these two would be, do you have any short answer or paragraph questions on there? You can still release the grade. However, anytime a student has to type something on these quizzes, there is the opportunity for them to spell something wrong. It's just a little bit easier if you look at it first. Otherwise, there'll be, if something's not formatted just right, there'll be a little bit of a freak out from your students. So just keep that in mind. If it's a really clear cut, multiple choice, whatever, where you've given them a lot of the options, the immediately after each submission is great because they know what they got and your job there is done. So the last one is, do you want them to be able to see the questions that they missed? Do you want them to see the correct answers for those? And do you want them to know the point values for each question that they're answering? Now, this again depends on, are you going to let the students take the quiz again? Do you have multiple hours that students are going to come in and take the quiz? If you let them see the correct answers, there's that potential that they will share that information. So you just have to make those choices. So we can go ahead and save that for now, and you'll see our form automatically changed. It tells you that locked mode is on. And in our settings, it does automatically. Oh, I guess whenever it's locked, I've never seen this. When locked mode is on, it automatically sets all these. So the kids can only respond one time and they have to be on a circle account. So I guess if you have it in locked mode, that takes some of that work away from you. So there's that. So you're going to put in your first question and so my kids think that this is hilarious because we use the acronym CRAP for graphic design. And so this Google is just amazing for us. They give us suggested answers. So you could go ahead and choose that, and then you could choose some other options. Again, I really do recommend giving them options so that you don't have to worry about spelling, because that's going to make them wrong if they put anything else on there. You do have your different options here. You can do a multiple choice grid, the check boxes. There's all kinds, just depending on what you are evaluating. So you can give them their different options, and then you can go right here to answer key. And this is where you're going to choose which one of your options is the correct answer. How many points do you want it worth? And then this answer feedback is a new thing that I hadn't seen. If a student gets an incorrect answer, you could write something like, please review the guiding design principles. And that could be it. Or you could put a link to information that tells them about the guiding design principles, or a video that tells them about the guiding design principles so that they can review that. You can also do a correct answer feedback and tell them great job, perfect, whatever you'd like to there. This is a really neat feature I see myself using more for incorrect answers, so that they can go and they can do some reteaching for themselves. So here I'm going to hit cancel. You can continue on adding questions. What I really suggest, this add section isn't used tons, and I do suggest doing this. It will help your students from becoming overwhelmed. So you can do add section, and this could be, I could be asking them about contrast in this section, and then my next section would be repetition. And then all of my questions could be inside of here. So you have a question about contrast and you have a question about repetition. What I would do and have done is you can add images here. So if I'm asking the students about contrast, I might ask them to describe it to me, but then I might also have two images, one that shows poor contrast and one that shows good contrast, and they can use that as a resource. So you can put those images in there. I see this being very helpful if you're doing like math problems. So you could take a picture of your own writing, your own notes, whatever. That is another option. So there are your pictures. If you do have them do a short answer, so if I did, what does crap mean in graphic design? Oh man. Boop, boop, boop. If I did this as a short answer, you're going to go into your key, and if they don't type it exactly how you have, it will count it wrong. So if someone spells repetition wrong, which I spell wrong half the time, if you put excuse me, if you put commas in between all of the different terms and they don't, all of that is going to matter. I'm not exactly sure, but I think that even capitalizing the different words will matter. So that's why I say, you really, if you have the short answer or the paragraph, I would really review that myself so that they don't think that they got it wrong when it was just a misspelling. But here's where you're going to add your different correct answers. So if you know that there's a common misspelling, these are all the different answers that are going to be accepted. And then you can say, mark all other answers incorrect. And some stuff, like if you're doing a quiz on the periodic table with the elements, it matters what is capitalized and what's not. So if they don't do it correctly, then it would be wrong. So anyways, when you click done, when you look at this, you're going to be able to see all of your sections. If you want to preview and see what this is going to look like for the kids, you're going to come over here to this creepy little eye. And Okay, well, let me go back and take this off. It will only let our kids that are doing this on their Chromebooks do that. So it's not locked anymore. So now we can go see it. So here is the beginning with the information. I just have this one thrown on there from when I was showing you. I'm going to go ahead and choose, and then you'll hit next. And then here is contrast. So everything that I want to ask about contrast will be right here. And then everything that I want about repetition will be right there. So if I hit submit, I didn't tell it to give the information right away. It's not a quiz, so we can't see that. The kids would see their feedback for each of their incorrect answers and then their score. So that's what the kids would see. The rest of the stuff is really just general forms information. If you want to change what it looks like, you come up to the little palette and you can change your theme. You can make a header for up here, but that's pretty basic form stuff. So one question that people had was how to organize their forms after they make this. And I did not know this next thing for forever. So it blew my mind. If you come right up here to this little folder, and if you knew this, then you're awesome. Come up to this little folder, and this is where you're going to organize where this form is. Right now, it's just thrown into my drive. So however you want to organize your all of your stuff, I typically have classroom and then my theme or my unit, whatever I'm going under. So you choose where you want it to go and then you move it there and it will be organized for you. So let's pretend we've done our form. It's all ready. I'm going to do Google test form. And then we're going to go back to our classroom. So here we have our graphic design I'm going to create, and you can create the quiz assignment, but you don't need to. I just clicked quiz and I'm going to do add in Google Drive. And since I've already made mine, it will come up as the most recent thing. If it doesn't, I did change it to Google. What did I change it to? Google test form, but it didn't change up here. Okay, there it is. Google test form. So let's go back and look for it again. So now it's there. It just hadn't changed the name yet. So I'm going to choose that, and it is attached. Now you'll notice it doesn't give you the option to lock it from right here. You would have to do that on your actual quiz. But so you can press the quiz button. You can just do the assignment. That doesn't really matter. So I'm going to go and hit assign. And I didn't give it a topic, so I can just click and drag and assign it to that. So there is a Google quiz that is ready for them. And so your kids can click on that, and then it will bring them out to the quiz. So there is that. Again, just like I said on Classroom, there's tons of things that can be personalized to how you want to teach things. If you have any other specific questions, just again, shoot me an email. We'll meet up on Google Meets or email back and forth.